Good morning, good evening, good night. Wherever you're watching this transmission, it is I, Mike Martins. Welcome to the Mike Martins channel and broadcasting from Merritt, British Columbia, the small town of Merritt, British Columbia, where we got 2 stoplights, and I chose to leave Vancouver because I refused to pay $2 million for $5.5 million for a detached bungalow, 2,000 square feet. I refused to buy something like that and moved to a small town 2 hours east of Vancouver in the beautiful Rocky Mountains, where we got 2 stoplights in our town and a population of 7,000. Why? Well, I lived in the city of Toronto when I was a kid. Parents immigrated from Portugal. Toronto officially was the worst commute in all of North America, and I could attest to that. I was back a few months ago in the summer to visit some family, and man, was it ever a disaster to get anywhere. They have tons of main streets, wide 3-lane streets, 3 up, 3 down, main streets, tons of infrastructure. You can get nowhere. Why? I'll explain to you why. Because everyone moved out of the city because they couldn't afford a mass migration out of the city into Scarborough, Oakville, Mississauga, Brampton, all these other cities to commute to Toronto, where employers are really having a tough time hiring qualified people in the city. They're going to have to find people that have to commute in hours and hours to get into work. If you ever tried taking Toronto Transit or tried to drive through the city, you know that it's not always easy to get around. While the TTC can often get you where you need to go, it is faced with delays and route closures quite often. Yet, if you decide to take a car, you're often stuck in lines, not lanes, in lines of traffic. In fact, according to the new study done by Toronto Foundation, it was discovered that Toronto has the worst commute of any other major city in North America. You know, when I was in Los Angeles, you did have a bit of gridlock, but they had the infrastructure, they had highways everywhere. Yes, I was in the highways there, a little bit stuck here and there, getting off of Highway 10 and stuff, into downtown LA and stuff, and off of 5 and stuff. There's a bit of traffic, and downtown yeah. Anyways, it comes as no surprise that Toronto is a busy city with a population of over 2.9 million people. When I left Toronto, I think it had 1 million. I don't know. Like, I left many years ago. Went to go live in Miami for a bunch of years. The streets of the city can get a little hectic. However, according to Toronto's Vital Sign report done by Toronto Foundation, it stated that the commute to Toronto is the worst in North America. Woo! Yeah, baby. Not only is it the worst commute, well, because everyone's coming from outside. Foreign investing came in, bought up Toronto, left a bunch of places empty, and the average wage earners and minimum wage earners can't afford to live in their own cities. Minimum wage earners just pile up in one house, 13, 14 people to a house. But average wage earners that want to start a family can't do it in the city, can't do it anywhere. They can't do it in the secondary cities like Richmond Hill, Oakville, Thornhill, Brampton, Mississauga. It's still out of reach, right? Unless people want to work 35 years to put a down payment down. That's absurd. Because if you knew how we had it in the 80s, you'd be actually crying right now if you knew how things were in the 80s. And interest rates were 11 to 17%. So, yeah. Not only is it the worst commute, but also considered to have the highest average of commute times of any other major city in Canada. A study done last year showcased that Torontonians are spending over 350 hours commuting every year, which is actually more than the other city more than any other city in the world. The new report, which looks at the variety of different factors of Torontonian living, including environment, work, health, and travel, focuses on just how tricky it is for the average citizen to get around. Oh, you guys have no idea. It's an absolute disaster. I went from Brampton to Cambridge, Ontario, 5 hours during the day to go see my aunt, who is very sick. And then when my dad's sister, to drive out there, it took us like 5 hours to get there. It took us 3 hours because we did it during the day, and then try to get home was an absolute disaster. It was an absolute disaster. You got to do the commute at 3 a.m. if you want to get, you know what I'm saying? It's not just a long commute that get Toronto its title of the worst commute in North America. The fact, it seems that the cost of transit in the city is also increasing at an alarming rate. According to the new report, the transit costs in the city have been increasing at twice the rate of inflation, which makes it harder for Toronto commuters to rely on public transit. So this is a huge problem, and this is a massive problem because People no longer could afford to live in their own cities they were born and raised in. And I spoke to a lot of people that did go to, when I went to high school in Toronto, I went to Archbishop Romero Catholic Secondary School. And I spoke to a lot of people unfriended me on Facebook when they say, I got a 10-bedroom house, 7 bathrooms, and on a 0.9 acre of land in a cul-de-sac. My neighbor's a firefighter. The other one's an RCMP down the street. I'm living good, right? But I'm living at the fraction of the cost. At the fraction of living that you would live in the city. And what you guys pay in property tax right here, look. And property taxes will continue to increase because the property values are dropping. Oh, Mike, but it's been stabilized here. It's been stabilized. No, it hasn't. And let me explain to you why it hasn't been stabilized. Because the amount of homes that are selling aren't anywhere near than what they sold in 2016 until the peak of 2017. So it will take 100 years to turn over it will take about 100 years for them to sell all the homes that are listed right now. So before, in 2017, it'd take 2-3 years to sell all the inventory that's for sale. So people need to look at that. Oh, sales are up. Yeah, but they're comparing them to 2018 when everything was flat. But a lot of homeowners are hoping that the exodus of Hong Kongers, 800,000 people from Hong Kong, have dual citizenship. So a lot of them could be coming to cities like Toronto and Vancouver to kind of temporarily stimulate the markets for a while now for this winter, right? So if you see increases in the winter, it's because of that. It's not the Canadian proper getting a raise. It's not the Canadian proper getting paid more or yeah, it's going to be a very interesting situation where things are headed. So yeah, so here it is. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. So a lot of foreign investors, mainly from China, laundered $200 billion across Canada. Let's see Ontario. Where's Ontario? Ontario right here. Look at it in the billions. Been laundering billions of dollars through the province of Ontario. Absolutely scary and disgusting, guys. Absolutely scary and disgusting. And with with people like here in this is in where I live, in BC, Metro Vancouver, Aboriginals and whites leaving Metro Vancouver for other regions. 9,345 whites and 460 Indigenous people left Metro Vancouver for other parts in the province. So in 2016. And then in 2017, it doubles. And then 2018, it doubles. So it's getting really, really bad for Vancouver because they can't hold their workers. There's so many empty homes. It's an empty shell of a city. On the weekends, the nightclubs are just a couple of people. And it's usually just foreigners, just I guess tourists visiting. So it's very sad to see what happened to Vancouver and how it's dubbed as the most unfriendliest city. It's dubbed as the most, because no one has money. Everyone's pissed off and everyone's building debt. No one's building wealth anymore. And unfortunately, with historically low interest rates, we're getting screwed. And they're trying to stimulate the economy by breaking it, but it's not going to work that way. Let me know what you guys think if you live in Toronto. How is your commute? How far is your commute? How long does it take you to get in? It takes me I could walk to work every day if I want. I opened my own business in a small town, so I kind of do my own thing in a small town. Woo! Let me know what you guys think. Comment below, and don't forget to share this video. Get it out there. Let's talk about some serious facts that are happening. Share this video. Get it out there. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.